everyone. Welcome back to Heartland Mamas.
I'm Heidi Henry.
And I'm Murri Briel.
And tonight we're going to talk about the first Democratic presidential debate.
It's coming up very quick, and I know a lot of people have been really excited about it.
Tomorrow night is the first round of contestants. It's not Jeopardy, but it's something like Jeopardy because everything hinges on their correct answers, personality, and their outfits.
So this is a little bit like Christmas for Heidi and I. Both having been former candidates, having done many forums and debates, it's really interesting to think about the type of prep that they're going through and what we're looking for.
You were allowed to debate. My opponent was too scared to debate me, so...
That's right. You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are.
But we're really excited. I know personally, I'm sure that there's a lot of cramming. A lot of times for debates, they'll get the topics ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get the questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
But you still don't know how your opponents are going to respond and what they're going to say and anticipate. It's about being strong and confident, having the control and the command.
And I think it's very important for those of us who watch a lot of debates, and even if you don't, the thing you need to watch for is a pivot. And that's when somebody asks you one question, like, do you love the color blue? You know, blue is nice when you look at pansies. I really love blue pansies, don't you?
You know what else I like that's blue is I like the ocean, and I want to make sure the ocean stays clean.
Right.
That's the pivot to what they want to talk about, which there's a fine line between redirecting. There's going to be 10 people on stage. So there's a fine line between redirecting and dodging. So it'll be interesting to see. Heidi and I, because it's Christmas for us, we are going to be in Princeton, Illinois, Bureau County.
Yeah.
Right? For those of you that are in Illinois, come on down. It's going to be a great debate watch party hosted by the Bureau County Democrats.
Yeah, right at their headquarters, right on the main drag. And we're bringing food.
So 7:30 tomorrow night, we'll have the information posted. Then on Thursday, holy camoli, we're going to be in Oswego.
Kendall County Democrats headquarters.
They're an amazing organization. Anyone in that area, I suggest you come out and check them out. They're just fantastic.
Now, the Kendall County one, you do have to make reservations for because they have limited seating. So you would have to go to the Kendall County Democrats page.
And we'll post that link too.
Yeah, and then ask for a seat. And they're having 2 nights of debates. They're actually doing it tomorrow night and Thursday, so Wednesday and Thursday. But you have to reserve your seat. We won't be there Wednesday because we'll be Thursday. In Princeton.
Right.
So I love
So
Princeton.
We're really excited, and we're hoping to give you the Heartland folks, Democrats, feels on who they have a favorite going in, or if they do, and what they're looking for. So we'll be snapping in and out throughout the debate with folks and their opinions. So hopefully you'll tune in.
I hope you do. As a farmer, I'm disappointed there's no farmers running, but we have a lot of interesting candidates. So we're going to go through a few of those now.
Absolutely. So let's tell you, tomorrow night, NBC, all of NBC and their qualifiers, Telemundo, MSNBC, will be hosting the debate 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's always listed 9 o'clock, and then you're like,
what time is that?
Or 7, I don't know, whichever way it goes. So you'll be able to see it. Both days will be hosted by Lester Holt.
Yes.
But we will also get the joy of Chuck Todd.
Oh, I
can't
Chuck
stand
Todd.
Chuck Todd. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
We used to watch, my family and I used to watch, we would record Meet the Press and watch it after church every Sunday. And it's off of our DVR now.
Oh my goodness.
We just can't stand him. So
I know.
I'm not a big George Stephanopoulos, whatever it is, fan.
Right.
But that's who we end up watching.
Mm-hmm.
Just terrible.
So tomorrow night we will have 2, and then the next night we will be honored with Diaz Ballard.
Yes.
And Rachel Maddow. I can't wait for that. I love Rachel. I'm sorry.
And Guthrie is also tomorrow night.
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, Guthrie is tomorrow night. So it should be really an interesting debate. And we are just going to give you a little bit of what it took to qualify. We talked about this on another one of our podcasts. But it took 60,000 donors, individual donors.
Yes.
From at least 20 different states and 200 donors from each state in order to have the first qualification. The second qualification was that they had to be polling in major national polls
Yes.
at least 1%. Now, what's interesting is 2 more of those candidates, which we're not going to see,
Yeah.
have actually qualified now for the next set. There'll be 11 on a stage. I don't know. They don't make them big enough.
Yeah, 10 is really, I mean, last election, we just had to watch Hillary and Bernie go at it, you know. And the thing is that watching those two is like, I agree with you, I agree with you, I agree with you, I agree with you. I mean, they were both on the same page, you know.
That's one of the, that is something that we're going to see tomorrow and on Thursday. We're going to hear similar policy ideas. Most of these guys all agree with the same things.
Right. You have a few that are
a little different, but I think it's going to be more important to hear who can back up immigration reform with what exactly that means for them. This is where I think they're going to break out and really get a chance to show you who they are, if any of them are able to do that, and not just say, well, this policy is this, or you did this, or you voted for that. If they're able to go, this is, yes, we all agree, and this is what I want to do and how I'm going to get there in a 90-second soundbite, they're going to be like a superhero. That's what they have to do.
It is so tough. The field is so deep. You know, I look at it from showing horses. You know, sometimes you go out there and you know you're the best, and other times you go out there and you go, holy cow, I'm one of the best out there.
Right. And that kind of brings us to the debate lineup. There's been some talk. It was all done fairly, names drawn out of a hat. Yeah. Lottery, they tied them to turtles. I don't know, but it was random. Unless somebody, you know, gave doping to the turtles. I don't know. No, seriously. They just had Mitch McConnell with a sign on his back and see who could beat him or Lindsey Graham. I think Mitch won, so.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, wait. Did you happen to watch the thing last night about them reading the Mueller report?
No.
Oh, my gosh. I'll post a link to that because, you know, I actually read the Mueller report. It was one of the worst reads of my life. But watching it acted out last night on a live stream was genius and wonderful.
I will have to see that.
John Lithgow.
Oh, there you go.
He played Trump, and it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I definitely want to see that link.
So anyway, so let's talk about...
So the first night, tomorrow night, while we are in Princeton, Illinois, beautiful, glorious Princeton, Illinois.
I love Princeton.
These guys are going to be in Miami. See how great it is to be like an EF level YouTube podcast team. But we love it because we don't care and we're doing what we love.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night, we were saying that there's some controversy, or there's no controversy about the choosing of who got what stage. Mm-hmm. But there's some opinions that Elizabeth Warren got, it's a negative to her. And I was like, well, to me, that would be a positive for her having the lineup that she has tomorrow night. Yeah. She's with a lot less well-known candidates.
Right.
She's with less experienced politicians.
And, you know, I would think for her, she would want to be out there with, you know, Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden and stuff. And instead, she's in there with Bill de Blasio and Tulsi Gabbard.
Cory Booker and John Delaney. We have Jay Inslee.
Yeah.
We have Julian Castro, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rouke, Tim Ryan, and Elizabeth Warren.
Now, that is a very interesting lineup, Murri, because most of those people nobody has ever heard of before, and they're polling at 1-2%.
So this is where this is could work either way for Elizabeth Warren.
Right.
You know, those that love her already love her. It's only going to solidify their love for her more by seeing her on that stage with everyone else.
Yeah.
This can go two ways. One or two of these unknown folks, like during our research, Heidi, you were really impressed with Julian Castro.
I was.
And, you know, so you don't know this time at the Democratic, in, what was it?
The debate? Or?
No, Obama. When Obama first ran.
Oh, nobody knew who he was.
No one knew who he was.
And
he
everybody
was polling at 1%.
Hillary would be the candidate.
And this really broke him out of the pack.
Yeah.
So there's some unknowns here. Mm-hmm. Now, I think the next night's going to be way harder for anybody to differentiate themselves.
It's like jumping in the shark.
If Elizabeth nails it, if she comes across like she is, strong, confident, friendly, motherly, passionate,
on task, on target.
She is going to destroy, and people are going to come out of there going, we love her.
Yeah.
Now, if one of the other upstarts come up, then she's got to go into the next debate when she'll probably be with more of the heavy hitters.
And I'm thinking it's going to be Julian Castro is the one that she's going to...
So talk a little bit about Julian Castro.
So Julian Castro, I really didn't honestly know a lot about. I mean, his name was familiar to me as being the mayor of San Antonio, Texas, and having worked under the Barack Obama administration. I don't know why I can't talk today. But he's a very progressive candidate. And what I liked about him is he comes from a long line of activists. You know, his mother was a Chicano activist, and that is a very tough place to be. You know, that you're, I don't want to say a street fighter, but you are fighting where people live.
Well, Barack Obama was an organizer before he became a politician. And I think that, not saying that, you know, he's the ultimate of all presidents. He's up there. He ranks up there. But, you know...
Well, the thing with Julian Castro is he could have a breakout moment. You know, that would be who I would look for. And you know, being from Texas, that's kind of a really good thing, and having deep roots in Mexico, you know, being third generation Mexican American.
And as we see, the Latino vote is coming more and more each election cycle. Right. But they still aren't voting in the numbers, just like the Pan-Asian community. Right. The Pan-Asian community is the fastest growing community in the United States.
Right.
And that covers, you know, India, China, all of the West, and you know, the whole Asian continent.
Right.
And so you have all these different cultures coming together, and they're all registered to vote, but they don't actually vote.
They don't get out and vote, and I don't know if it's... if they're disenchanted, if they don't really
I think what happened was that I think, at least in our area, they weren't familiar. They didn't know what they were supposed to do. They registered to vote when they got their licenses, and they didn't understand the process. So it was a lot of educating. So I'm hoping if we continue that,
when I was running,
we'll see more diverse voices.
I had to find a Mandarin translator for a woman who just was a new citizen from China.
That is so cool.
Guess who the Mandarin person was?
Who?
Mike Ferricks, our treasurer.
Very nice. All right, he speaks Mandarin?
He does.
That is so cool. Shout out to Mike Ferricks, state treasurer of Illinois, for knowing Mandarin.
Yeah. And having gone to Yale.
Too bad Buttigieg is not tomorrow night. We could hear a Pete bust out one of his 8 languages. Anyway, let's go back to where we were. So you're looking for Julian Castro to be a breakout.
I think so. I think some of them I don't think are going to go over real well. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, is just a little out there.
Tulsi Gabbard is absolutely banana pants crazy. She hasn't been able to get any traction. She had 3 failed attempts at launching her campaign. It's disorganized. But in and of herself as a candidate, she's cute. She's a woman.
Beautiful.
But, you know, because of course that's what people comment on. Is she likable? Well, yeah, she's likable. I don't know.
Well, she's a veteran.
She's a veteran, but she's got some real weird juxtaposition between her personal beliefs and...
Yeah, and her position on Syria. You cannot be an apologist for what's going on in Syria. You just can't be.
Right.
And I mean, that is a weird hill to die on, you know.
It is. So it'll be interesting to see what comes up with her. Yeah. Now, we have Jay Inslee. You know, I know a little bit about him, not a lot, but we dug in a bit.
Yeah.
He's really big on climate change, and
being from the state of Washington, they're really dealing with climate change issues up there right now. He's not a climate change expert, but he certainly plays one on TV, and he certainly has done the research, the due diligence, and could be a real player in this.
So what about Amy Klobuchar?
Well, you know, I'm not a Klobuchar fan. So, I really... I'm not a Klobuchar fan.
No, she's not really into Amy. I think that she's a strong candidate. I think she's very intelligent. I don't think she's the right choice. I don't think she's there. I don't think
she's presidential, but I don't think our current president
Whoa. There is no such thing as presidential anymore. That went out the window. I'm sorry. The minute you can grab her by the pussy and you're still in office. Okay, side note, I apologize for this. Did you see that the Department of Justice is suing Omarosa for $50,000 because she failed to fill out a financial disclosure form after she was terminated from the White House. What? You mean like the 20,000 that Jared Kushner keeps changing, yet he has security clearance and you're not going after him? Okay, moment. Sorry, I had to just say that was
and that's part of the problem with the hours that I work is I don't get to. I work with children all day, and
I work with children at night.
Yeah. And I'm out in the barn with the horses, so I miss.
No. So it was very interesting. Anyway, so Amy Klobuchar, Beto. Now here's one. Beto is charming. Beto did a great job getting the state of Texas fired up and the whole nation. Beto is young. Beto is impulsive. Beto doesn't have the polish, nor is he ready for this. I don't think he has the policy chops going up against Warren and Booker and Klobuchar even, who have so much more national experience and national policy experience. Yes. I think is going to kill him.
He's very erratic.
If he doesn't study and have his policies and know them inside and out,
yeah,
he's gonna implode.
And I think that's part of his problem is, I don't know if he's a little ADD or ADHD, but he doesn't seem to focus in and complete a task. It's like he focuses in and then a squirrel goes by, So.
I almost wore my shirt. I have ADHD. My husband does, and all three of our kids. Genetics, Yay. Go zygote. Okay. And so I have a shirt that says ADHD as the AC/DC logo with a line, and it says highway to squirrel, because that's pretty much what it is.
Huge AC/DC fan. So
it's a pretty cool shirt. Anyway, let's go back.
Yeah.
So I think Beto can really lose a lot of ground here. I don't think he's gonna come across. He comes that energy can be contagious, but he's not. But not from him. There's a weird, like he wants to be, and you have to remember in campaigns, these guys are going to get a lot slicker and their messages are going to smooth out. So this is like the rocky road start. As you do this more and more and you talk to more people, if you're campaigning for even, dog catcher, you have to refine what you're saying and learn how to communicate that message.
Maybe that was my problem.
Oh, you're a good communicator, my love. You're a good communicator.
So,
and the last one that's sort of an unknown, or I haven't seen anything special out of, is Tim Ryan.
Well, Tim Ryan is, we've got a couple more to cover, but Tim Ryan...
Oh, I thought we got them all.
No.
Oh, Bill de Blasio.
Yeah. He's a congressman from Ohio, and my problem with Tim Ryan is Tim Ryan has this desire to straddle middle ground. I think we had enough of that with Barack Obama, and that's why we're going to differentiate on who why I would think that FDR was really a better Democratic president than Barack Obama. We have straddled middle ground to the detriment of our country. We, instead of having universal health care, we ended up with ACA. Flawed, wonderful, saved my son's life, so love ACA. However, we had an opportunity
to fine-tune, but we also had a block in.
He had the first 2 years with both houses and Obama, and he invited the Republicans to the table. He invited the insurance companies to the table. That's straddling middle ground, and there is no place for it anymore.
You really can't invite the insurance companies.
No, you cannot. They spent $1.1 trillion to get ACA as an insurance program.
But on the other hand, there is something about consensus building, and I know you are more of a, I'm gonna, let's burn this to the ground, and I am more of a, okay, let's start a small smoldering fire, watch it grow, and figure the rest of it out as we go.
No, that would make me a Bernie supporter, and that's not happening. But
different approaches. I mean, I thought that the negotiation and there was so much hatred and division in the country, and knowing, I think that Barack Obama had the responsibility of being the first black president. So I think a part of his whole thing was he never wanted to come across as the angry black man because he was afraid of that being associated as what that was. And
he's the whitest black man.
But you can understand.
He's half white.
But he was tan. I mean, come on, brown. I had a brown. If I'm tan, they think that I'm from another country too, which I am. But
half white.
Right.
Raised by white people.
But
in a white neighborhood.
But that doesn't matter if you're Bubba sorry, no offense, Kentucky, Bubba in rural Kentucky, he's more than a mocha shade. He's a black guy.
And I totally get that. And
Not from us, from the ideology of those.
I totally get that mindset. I don't get it, but I know that mindset is out there. I just feel like we have, we have to have evolved a little bit better than that. I had somebody got after me on my Facebook page. Actually, it wasn't mine. It was somebody else's, about who's stirring the pot, and pitting us black against white. And I thought, who's doing it, and why can't we straddle middle ground? We cannot straddle middle ground.
I agree.
This is why we have racism and bigotry and poverty in this country, because we try to straddle middle ground when there is no place for middle ground.
And I am not going to disagree with you that I think that
because I'm getting fired up.
I know.
So.
Oh my goodness, she'll throw me to the cat. Her cat that bit me.
He didn't bite
me.
You.
He bit me. He just wanted love. He really didn't bite.
Well, so Bill de Blasio.
Go back. Sorry. We digress.
Bill de Blasio, mayor of New York City, arguably not a well-loved mayor of New York City. He has some progressive ideas. I believe he's a billionaire, and the billionaire governor's working for us really well here in Illinois.
Wow. You know what? I was definitely hesitant to have him as governor.
Really?
Because we had 4 years of Browner. We had Trump. We have, when you see billionaires or millionaires come in and take over political office, they run their campaigns, they run everything like a business. And then businesses diametrically opposed to governments, so
However,
the two of them are not the same, and he has not done that, and I say mad props, JB.
Okay, well, but I will go to this step. You don't see the Rauner Library, you don't see the Rauner Pavilion, you don't see the Rauner Park. You do see that with Pritzker.
But his family has a lot more established name and a lot more money. He comes from generations and generations of philanthropy.
But when you come from generations of philanthropy, that is something that is learned and taught by your parents.
Very good point. She's smart.
I made a point to go and meet. I met almost all of the candidates that ran for governor. My first question to him in the Union Hall was, what are you going to do for people who work full-time at minimum wage? What are you going to do for them? We had more candidates to go through.
Oh, we do? Oh, I just
Okay.
wanted to look at we didn't get our timer started, so we don't worry.
But he had such an interesting take on poverty and what it means to be impoverished. Everything from not being able to watch your child's Little League game to not being able to have tires on your car and shoes on your feet, And I thought, he totally gets it. The reason that we have problems with alcoholism and drug abuse and physical abuse and a lot of those things devolve down to the frustrations of poverty.
Well, and that's something we're going to talk about on another show. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think if you've been through trauma and you've been responsible for caring for another human life, then politics is looking for you.
Well, and that was a total segue for me. But that was the second day after he declared he was going to run. The first thing he did when he got in office was to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Yeah.
The people that is going to help
is amazing. Side note, my son just started a job. Clearly, it's a teenage job. He's 16. Yeah. He's working for $8.75 an hour. Not even the $9, he's working for that. But it's at a place that he loves. He gets to work with kids because he wants to be a teacher. Everything's fine. So he comes, he's like, Mom, I'm going to make like $150 this week. And I'm like, wow, $150. That's awesome. He's like, 'cause he figured taxes and stuff. And I said, so, you got to save some of it. You're going to need some of it for gas and things like that. He's like, yeah, I know. And I said, all right. And I said, think for a minute. And I was like, imagine you worked, how many hours is that? He's like, that's like 20 hours. And I'm like, so if you worked 40 hours a normal week, you'd make $300 a week. He's like, yeah, that's pretty good, right? Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, that's like $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
And I said, now, you probably wouldn't be living. I said, just imagine if you're done with school and you moved out. So then, even out here, you're looking at $400-500 for rent alone.
Oh, you have no idea.
$700.
Yes, $700.
So then you're left with what, $500. And I said, then you got your insurance and you got your car, and if you don't have a payment, okay. And then I said, so that leaves you with what, about $50 a week for eating,
food,
for fun, for.
There's no fun.
No, and
There's
he goes,
no fun.
and I said, and he's like, and it wasn't that he understands finances, but he's like, Mom, how would somebody who has a kid do that? And I said, imagine a family who has 2 or 3 kids and there's 2 parents making just that. You can't even feed yourself for $50 a week, Judge. How is a mom going to feed 2 kids and herself?
I heard it every day.
It was a good lesson for him. It was like, wow, I'm really going to study hard because I don't want to not. Anyway, sorry, digress. Let's get back to our debate stage. All right, the last ones we needed to talk about.
John Delaney.
John Delaney.
Yeah. So John Delaney is from Maryland, and he has his own universal health care coverage proposal. And again, kind of a straddling the middle ground, because he wants the government to be responsible for basic health care needs. And then you would buy insurance to cover things like open heart surgery or,
No, I don't think that's going to work. I really do think we needed the ACA to get us to where we are now, but now we need to take that next step, and it's how. How are we going to do it? How are we going to pay for it? How are we going to make this happen? And that's what I want to hear.
Well, how are we going to pay for it? We pay for this already with unbelievable premiums, unbelievably high premiums, deductibles, out of pocket, prescription medication costs.
Was that our last
horrible.
candidate?
That was our last one.
Okay, so speaking of healthcare, and MSNBC has not released the topics that they're going to be discussing. But like we said, some have topics that are already set. Sometimes they know the questions. Sometimes they know the general arenas. So it'll be interesting to see which type of format it is.
Yeah.
But healthcare is likely to be one of the topics.
Healthcare will be a topic, I'm sure.
Election security, immigration, foreign policy, gun control, the economy, and Trump. Those are kind of the anticipated guessing what's going to happen there. So it'll be really interesting to see.
I am really interested to see how they handle it. With 10 candidates, you almost need 3 hours, and they're just doing this in 90 minutes. So
yeah, tough.
It's going to go fast.
Okay, so how can they lose the debate? What can they do to completely blow themselves up? They can
straddle middle ground.
Straddle middle ground. It is a primary. Remember that, as you go into the general, they are going to want to try to pull some other folks over, which they shouldn't do anymore. We're not going there. All right. So forgetting what their talking points is, that's kind of huge.
Yeah.
Like if you know your policy and you know your information and you forget it,
yeah,
that makes them look very unprepared, and that will be a ding for anybody who does that.
So they're role playing and doing stuff today even to get ready.
They're going through every time they're in a vehicle, they have people prepping them on the types of questions, because these are all things that they have to do all the time. So,
and they're probably also, the day of getting a massage so they can be super relaxed.
I never got a massage.
Well, we didn't.
No.
We were unfunded candidates.
Yeah, that's true. One thing that I want to make, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this does not happen, is I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they don't just repeat the same talking point, because sometimes if you're up there and you say a one-liner, like I can see Beto doing this and the crowd going, woo, and then Beto will be like, every time. He just seems like that kind of guy. I could be totally wrong, but he's like, I want to use it again. I hope they don't repeat themselves the same thing without actually saying anything.
Well, I don't want to see them turn on one another. I think our platform, the Democratic platform, is so close on so many talking points. People used to argue with me all the time about the difference between Clinton and Sanders, and I thought, they're talking from the same book.
Well, they're fundamentally different, and that's what we're going to get to see, but we're not going to get to see as much of that, I think, tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night we're just going to get a real good, strong, who can actually have something to say. Like we said, they're all going to be gun control. Except, they all will. They'll all be in favor of a universal health care. They'll all be, so the opinions aren't going to be that different for me. It's really going to be what's behind that opinion. Why? Why is your plan better? How are you going to make
You know what?
this work, your idea work.
And it's not only that, it's why are you the right person to do that? And I took a lot of exception to Beto going, I was born for this.
Oh,
Are
I
you
did too.
freaking kidding me?
That furred up my dander.
I just, it's like,
did.
you know, I felt like I was born to be senator last fall, but I wasn't, you know. So, yeah, Congresswoman. So, but you know, the thing is that this is going to weed out a lot of candidates. A lot of the ones that we read today that are so obscure are going to go away.
And we may see one or two shine. We may see one or two come out ahead, so it'll be very interesting.
Inslee and Castro, I think, are the two to keep an eye on.
Okay, well,
we'll see.
There you go. So tomorrow night, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, at heartlandmamas.com, or at Heartland Mamas, both tags, heartlandmamas.com. If you can't remember Facebook and Twitter, Heartland Mamas, remember us on the web.
Yeah.
We're there too.
Yeah.
We will have talking to local folks in the Heartland, stuck in the Great Red Divide, feeling how they feel about candidates in Princeton tomorrow night with the Bureau County Democrats, in Oswego Thursday night with the Kendall County Democrats, and we will be coming to you then. So
now, I'm hoping we're gonna go through and do the next 10 and release it Thursday morning, right?
Yes, we are.
So it'll be an extra episode, a bonus.
Extra episode, and maybe we should just let those people who like and follow us get that episode.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, we could make it secret release. Secret squirrel, Butchman.
We all know who the secret squirrel is, and it's not Butch.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please like us, subscribe, YouTube. We are on iTunes, Spotify. We're everywhere now. Yeah, we're legit. Oh my gosh.
You can even donate to help us keep going.
Oh, that would be awesome. It would really be nice, but you know, we get it. You got to test us out first. But if you like what you hear, if you want to hear more, we'd love your thoughts and input, and we would like, and if you're happy with us, give a little donation. Yeah. Thanks again. We'll see you on Wednesday tomorrow night, and then Thursday morning.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.